To Matchday live here on LUTV from an expectant and excited and a slightly nervous probably Elland Road. Leeds United taking on Blackburn Rovers. There are 4 games to go in this Sky Bet Championship League season. Joining me today, Jermaine Beckford. Bex, how are we feeling?
Excited. Look, when you look at the results of last night, Leicester slipping up yet again, and we're playing before Ipswich finally. All of those things seem to, for me anyway, they fill me with a little bit of confidence. We know that Leicester have lost. They've dropped 3 massive points. It's a great opportunity for us to play against a team that are struggling in the league, albeit they've got the top goal scorer. But also with Ipswich playing later on as well, I think that is huge. If we're able to pick up all 3 points, that puts the pressure massively on Ipswich, and whether they can deal with it and whether they can handle that pressure is to be seen. But I don't know if you could guess this from me. I'm in a good mood. I'm happy.
Worth saying, this is available in selected territories. You can scan the QR code and you'll be able to watch this game. Of course, your commentary team, Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo, coming up. You want to send in your thoughts, your opinions, your photos of where you're following from around the world. Please do across social media and using the hashtag LUTVLive. This is a huge game. We knew we had these 2 home games. We had a draw earlier in the week, which left some frustration, a bit of disappointment really that we couldn't get over the line against Sunderland. But this is the opportunity now, like you say, to take those 3 points ahead of what will then be 2 away games.
Yeah, definitely is. But look, again, as I mentioned, I'm a glass half full kind of person. So I look at it from the perspective of it's another game unbeaten here. It's another clean sheet. It's these are areas of the team, the pitch, the season that we need to improve on, and we're doing that slowly but surely. It would have been ideal if we got the 3 points, don't get me wrong, because it would have given us a massive buffer, a little bit more cushion above Leicester, obviously with their results, but that's not been the case. The most important thing for me as well is we're creating lots of opportunities. We're maybe not taking them or taking as many as we would like, but we're creating them. If we weren't creating any opportunities or chances, then I'll be a little bit more concerned.
Today's opponents, Blackburn Rovers, come on the head of some very odd form. They had a 5-1 win, then a 0-0 draw, and then a 5-0 defeat they're coming off the back of midweek. So we're not quite sure what we're going to get from them. What we do know is that they're in a position now where they're only 3 points above the relegation zone, and they're in some serious danger down there as well. Does that make them a bit of a tricky customer coming into this, because you're not quite sure what you're going to get?
It does in a sense. You know, they've got Smoditz, who's the top goal scorer on 23 goals, which makes absolutely no sense when you consider where Blackburn Rovers are in the league. You mentioned 3 points above the relegation zone. They've conceded the second most amount of goals in the Championship. They've conceded 71. Only Rotherham, have conceded more. So when you look at it from that perspective and how many goals we've scored, you would like to say from a neutral perspective that Leeds United are going to completely demolish and steamroll them and score 5, 6, 7 goals against them. But as we know football, that's not always the case. We look at it from an angle of we're positive. Our home form is fantastic. Their away form is poor. Their last couple of results are neither here nor there, conceding a lot of goals, albeit they scored 5 not too long ago. I would like to think if we're able to create enough chances, we're going to score quite heavily today, and that will send a massive message out to Ipswich, to Leicester City and to everybody else in the league that we were just going through a minor blip.
We saw the players coming in there just a moment ago. 3 changes Daniel Farke has made today. Those changes are Connor Roberts comes in, Willie Gnonto comes in, and Joel Piroux comes in as well. So Bamford, Kamara and Dan James drop to the bench, which we think will then see Connor Roberts playing at right back and Archie Gray moved into midfield alongside Ilya Gruev. Are you surprised to see those changes? You know, Daniel Farke's stuck to a similar team, so 3 changes kind of unusual for him in recent weeks. What do you make of those?
There were elements in the last few games that did seem like we were faltering a little bit, not in terms of effort, but in terms of the overall energy. So maybe he's looking at freshening up those areas to give a boost of energy in those parts of the field. The right-hand side of the pitch for me is going to be very interesting with Connor Roberts, with William Gnonto. You look at that and you say, right, Daniel Farke has not been overly happy with what he's seen so far. With Kamara dropping out, Archie's gone in the middle, his natural position, the position that he wants to play in. the one that he feels the most comfortable in. He's in there with Gruev, who I think has been absolutely fantastic this season, albeit he had a slow start through injuries, etc. I'm excited to see, we're going to have a great view of that side of the pitch especially, but I'm excited to see how well they cope against the Blackburn left-hand side. So that for me is the area to watch. I think the main reason for changing, for those changes is literally just to freshen it up a little bit. Let everybody else on the bench know, look, we've been slightly off pace, off energy. Let's give them a little bit of a boost. This is for the fans as well. If I'm honest, I would have liked to see Matteo Joseph start, because I think he's absolutely fantastic. He's one of those players that creates something out of nothing, not afraid to miss a chance, which as an opposition player is a frightening thought. If you've got a player that's not afraid to shoot and miss, he can shoot from anywhere, he can score from anywhere. And we saw the way that he played against Chelsea and a couple of his appearances as well. I'm a huge admirer of his.
Maybe he'll get the opportunity from the bench today to make that kind of impact you're talking about there, Bex. Elland Road is filling up. The anticipation is rising ahead of this 12:30 lunchtime kickoff. Let's get the thoughts of the Leeds United manager, Daniel Farke.
It's difficult to predict because each and every game is different, and also in this league you can't compare anything. So I'm pretty respectful of their quality in the offense. If you're not switched on against them, they can hurt each and every opponent there, because they have so many players who can make things happen. Obviously, a player in red hot form with Modex during the season with so many goals, also a handful of assists. They are very, very dangerous. So they have shown just a couple of weeks ago what they're capable to do. They were able to score 5 goals against Sunderland and cut them a bit into pieces. Obviously, then the other night was definitely then also a disappointing result for them, but it just makes sure that they will be perhaps even a bit more motivated to show reaction, and they also needs probably a few points in order to be not really completely in danger. So for that, I expect also a highly motivated team who wants to show reaction also at a ground where they have, let's be honest, nothing to lose, because after the last result, no one really expects then really something that they will take Elland Road by storm, and for that, yes, we are respectful and we know that we have to control them. So if you allow them to develop their game, they're a really, really dangerous side, because they play a bit freestyle, they play instinctively, they have many good football players, and we have to make sure that we don't allow them to be themselves on the pitch and that we dominate the game.
The thoughts there of Daniel Farke ahead of today's match. I was reading through the programme notes actually from the manager. Couple of things that I found interesting. The first one is that he said, he expressed it himself, that him and the players felt frustration and disappointment after that draw earlier in the week.
Yep.
You know, he's very honest, isn't he, Daniel Farke, when he speaks? That's how they're feeling. It's how we were all feeling as well.
It is. It's refreshing to hear, especially because he doesn't only do it after a loss or a draw. He does it after a victory as well. And that makes you realise that this guy is so balanced. He's so well-rounded as a person. His mentality, his mindset is all about how can we improve regardless of result? How can we improve regardless of performance? He always wants to see the best of the best. And we didn't quite see that in the last couple of games, but that's why we're seeing players like William Nonto, we're seeing Connor Roberts, we're seeing Archie Gray moving into the middle of the pitch, and Joel Peru. It's to give the rest of the players a little bit of a boost, but also to give them a little bit of a boot up the backside as well, and say, look, these are the levels that we've set for ourselves. These are the standards that are required. We need to make sure we maintain that. The way that we're going to do that is by freshening the team just that little bit. You never know. The next game, he might rotate those players back out. It all depends on performance. When you're in the position, when you're starting, the position is yours to lose, and that's the message that he's trying to get across to these players.
We can see the players warming up and getting ready. You can also see just behind there the fans. And the other thing that Daniel Farke said in his programme notes today is that, and his words were, we're going to need the fans more than we've ever needed them before. You know what it's like to be out there, Bex, and to play in pressure games. You had them in that promotion run from League One.
Yeah.
these fans here and across the world, but especially the ones here in the stadium today, are going to be able to have that impact and make that difference. And they've been phenomenal, haven't they, all season?
Oh, absolutely incredible. But they've been behind the team because the team's given them something fantastic to get behind. You know, it's a little bit of give and a little bit of take. The fans want to cheer you on. The fans want to give you everything that you need as a player. But as a player, you've got to give the fans what they need as well. So it's a two-way street. Both sides have done more than enough so far, but it's the last push, like you mentioned before. It's just there's 2 home games left. There's this one. There's the Southampton game. There's 2 away games left. That's it. We know the away support is fantastic. We know the home support is fantastic. We want to see it 3% more, 4% more. Not much, just a little bit, and that will be more than enough to push us over the edge and give us the victory that we desperately require. Nobody seems to want to win this league at the moment. You know, you look at what Ipswich have been doing, you look at Leicester, you look at what we did midweek. It's there for the taking.
We'll take it. We'll do it today.
Let's go and take it.
We'll do it today, Bex. It's all coming good. It's going to be fine. This week, a true Leeds United club legend in Stuart Dallas announced his retirement from the game after a lengthy injury layoff after that really difficult period for him. A player who will always be remembered for his outstanding contribution to Leeds United.
To open your account for the club, Stuart Dallas. Stuart Dallas, clinical in the penalty area.
There it is there, look. Unbelievable.
First time goal from Stuart Dallas. He scored for the Leeds.
It's been a long time, obviously, that I've been at the club. I've seen a lot of changes from I first come. We've had a lot of ups and downs and so many highs, so many lows, but looking back, you know, I can walk away with my head held high, and, you know, I'm very proud to be part of this club and proud of the things that I've achieved at this club. There it is there, look. Unbelievable. The night we sealed promotion, that night is something that lived long in the memory of me forever. The scenes that night was incredible, and I'm just disappointed that we couldn't celebrate it with the fans, because we know how much it meant to the fans and to the city itself, and, you know, not to get the opportunity to have them join with us was disappointing. But, you know, the scenes outside Elland Road, obviously, you know, we're looking out the windows and on the pitch, you know, in the stands whenever Marcelo turned up, and Marcelo wasn't really a man for showing emotion, and you know, that night he come, and I remember standing, you know, up in the hospitality boxes and seeing him coming across the pitch, and I still get goosebumps now whenever I think of it. An absolute legend, and he come and just hugged every one of us and thanked every one of us, but he was the one that made it all possible. But yeah, the scenes that night were absolutely incredible, and it's something that'll live long with me and you know, forever. 2 goals at City, I think, probably looking back, they're probably 2 of the biggest goals that I've scored in my career, and I'm just disappointed that it wasn't with fans in the stadium, because I could just imagine the scenes in that away end when that last minute winner would have went in. But I've been fortunate where I've scored a number of important goals for the club, but I would look back on them, and especially the second one, and say it's probably the best goal or the biggest goal that I've ever scored.
Finally, what's your message for the fans?
Thank you. That's my message to the fans, is thank you for everything, for the support you've shown me, you've shown my family, and the support you show the team. I think this season, there's a lot of pressure on the lads to try and get us back to the Premier League, and that support is dragging us through at times, and we're going to need the fans in every game. But from the bottom of my heart to the fans, thank you for everything.
Yeah, Stuart Dallas announcing his retirement this week, and Bex, players' careers end in different ways. It's a particularly cruel way for Stuart's career to end, but he's going to be remembered here at Leeds United, and we use the word icon, and it's you don't just throw that around, but really an iconic part of an iconic era at that time, and everything he did for the club.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. But more than just what he's done on the pitch, off the field, he's an incredible human being as well. What a guy. I had a chat with him downstairs. My little boy's a mascot for today's game, and he went out of his way and had a little chit chat with him. But that's just him. He goes out of his way to make things special for everybody around him, and he's a lovely guy. He's a fantastic human being, and obviously he was a fantastic football player as well. It's a shame that he has to go out on those terms and not his own terms, but the love and appreciation and respect he's going to get, and that he does get on a regular basis from this football club and the fan base, will go on until forever.
I do want to mention a couple of the goals. He scored so many goals, you forget how many goals that Stewie scored for the club, but the 2 in particular, the winner against Man City, that goal, brilliant, unbelievable. Great. And also that goal against Stoke, which the way that goal came about typified everything that Marcelo Bielsa team stood for, and the brand of football, and he finished off that goal. I think a lot of people look back at that goal and say that's what that team was about.
Yeah, 100%. It was carnage, but it was organised carnage, wasn't it? But yeah, and he summed that up perfectly. He was a major part of that. It's a shame that his body wasn't able to maintain those standards, obviously with the injury that he picked up, because if we were able to have a player of that calibre playing for us now in this team under Daniel Farke, who knows, we could be 10 points clear at the top of the league because of the influence that he has on and off the pitch. And
with bearing in mind, you don't get players that often that are as versatile as he was. When you think about the positions he played, it effectively came in as a right winger, finished at left back, and everything in between. And every time if you saw Stuart Dallas's name on the team sheet, whichever position that was, you knew you were getting a proper shift out of a player, and he was going to perform to a level that was required.
The ultimate utility player. He always played with a smile on his face, irrelevant of whether, like you said, he comes in at right wing, left back, centre half, centre mid. It doesn't matter. The false 9 even. He would play with 100% commitment and a massive smile on his face. He would get the job done. He'll come off the pitch at the end of the game absolutely exhausted. But like you mentioned there, you knew as a fan or as a coach or as a teammate, you're going to get 110% every single game regardless. Absolute ledge.
Well, you said it there. Absolute ledge sums it up perfectly. Stuart's here today, of course. We'll be having a few words at half-time on the pitch. I'm sure we'll be receiving an incredible reception from the Elland Road faithful. We are closing in around 10 minutes from kick-off now. Let's get the thoughts of one of the star performers this season who's been chatting to LUTV ahead of today's match. Here's Joe Rodon.
Joe, thank you for joining us. It's always great to see you, and so soon after the draw against Sunderland. And just speaking off camera there, the frustration, and I think that's the overriding feeling, isn't it, from the game?
Yeah, I think not being able to take 3 points last night is frustrating. And to be fair, we've been on an amazing home run, and sometimes this is football and this is how it goes. But at the end of the day, with the race that's happening, I think every point counts, and what we can do is reflect and move on to Saturday.
Like you're saying there, the form we've been on has been absolutely incredible, and it's putting into context, isn't it, things that, disappointing not to get the 3 points because we've been so good at home, but the position we find ourselves in, still a great position, right?
Yeah, and I think these last 4 games, it's all to play for. And yeah, of course, I think since we've come back from the national break, we haven't hit the ground running like we were when we left. But no, I think all we can take from last night is confidence, and we're going to need everyone. So Saturday's another massive game for us, and it's one that we're all focused on.
The word belief gets said a lot in football. I go back to my time when we got promotion out of League One, probably similar situation with 4 games to go. We had the belief. You guys have it in abundance as well, don't you?
I think since I've walked through the doors and I've seen and worked with this team every day since I've been here, I believed in this team all along, and I will continue to give everything and believe in this team. And I just think, it's a great group, and we have a really strong togetherness here, and the bond we have with the fans as well. So, no, I think we've got all the chances to do it, and all we can do now is focus on Saturday and give everything.
Yeah, it's a great point you raised. Yourself experienced, a lot of the players experienced as well. How much of that experience play a part, but the fans as well, just touch upon there, everyone in it together and pushing for the 4 games.
I think that's probably the most important thing right now is everyone. We all just need to stay calm and just carry on what we've been doing all season, and now that's just full focus on the next game, which is all we can control, and worry about ourselves. And I believe in this team, and I believe we can go out there and get the job done.
For you personally, how much have you enjoyed this campaign? Because the clean sheets record has been absolutely superb. You seem to play, say, with a smile on your face. You're focused as a centre half, but how much have you enjoyed it so far here?
Well, it's always nice when you're winning, but I think I don't know what more I can say about it. I think since I've joined, just everyone who's been involved at the club, the fans, the staff, just everyone involved, players, they've been brilliant with me. And I think, of course, every player wants to play and they enjoy when they're playing, but it's just been, a great experience for me to come here, and we've had a lot of wins, and since kind of the turn of the new year, we just look straight forward, and I've loved every minute so far, and this is why all this just gives me the motivation to lead and just give everything, and hopefully we can all be successful at the end of the season.
And to give everything, we've got another game just round the corner at home at Elland Road against Blackburn. Is it just the same mindset, the same focus, the same determination on the training ground to take it into that game?
I think, of course, after last night, I'm sure all the boys are going to be frustrated and hurting about it, but I think that's also, shows how much they care, and, we want to go out there and of course make the fans proud and make them happy. So I think, everyone in that dressing room is going to be motivated to go out there on Saturday and give a performance and just get back to winning ways.
Bex, for the negatives on the previous home game against Sunderland, it was another clean sheet. Joe Rodon alongside Ethan Ampadu, they have been rock solid defensively. The stats bear that out. Incredible. And going into these last 4 games of the season, keeping clean sheets or minimal amount of goals is going to be key.
I definitely think so. Joe's been fantastic for me. Great signing, absolutely fantastic signing, and especially when you take into account the stats that he had prior to coming here, they weren't necessarily the best. We're looking at a player that's definitely grown into himself, understands what the game is all about far better now than he did when he was at Spurs. Obviously, he was a very young player. He was playing against some of the best players in the world, through some tricky times as well. But to come here and keep, I think it's around about 18 clean sheets during his time. He's a leader, natural-born leader. Joe, Ethan at the back, they've got the understanding of each other from the national side as well, which I think helps. But they're just unbelievable. In the running, if we're able to keep a couple of clean sheets and let the attacking boys really express themselves, I think we're going to be more than fine.
Let's hope so. They have the business of the Championship's top scorer in Sammy Smodics to look after today. He's got 23 goals. We'll see how that goes. But Ewood Park earlier in the season, it was a 2-0 win for Leeds United with goals from Dan James, Crescencio, Somerville. Yeah. And in some ways, it was one of those that Blackburn played open football against us, which kind of suited us in that game. So many teams had sat back and not really tried to play expansively against us. But Jorginho Ruta here sort of stumbled over the ball originally in that bit, but it ends up at Dan James and a cracking goal.
Yeah, but look, this is earlier on in the season, and everybody's got everything to play for. You know, now we're talking about the business end of the season. We're going for automatic promotion. They're trying to avoid relegation. They're 3 points above it. I can't see them trying to play attacking football against us. I think they're going to come here and try and play defensively, try and keep it really, really tight at the back and not lose. I don't think they're going to go for the win. I think they're going to come here to try not to lose, which will make it very difficult. And I think that's one of the reasons why we've seen a couple of changes as well, with Pat going out and Joel coming in, and with William Nonto as well. You know, their type of games suit teams that like to sit back and defend quite deeply. And with any luck, we'll be able to show a little bit of creativity and you know, be ruthless in front of goal.
Well, 3 teams vying for 2 places at the top of the Sky Bet Championship. Leeds with a chance to go top and take the initiative. Bex, what's the score going to be today?
I'm going to say positively, confidently, 3-0 Leeds United.
All right, let's hope it's the case. Your commentary team, Tony DeRigo alongside Bryn Law on the way. First, let's get the thoughts of the ever-smiling Jorginho Ruta.
Well, Jorginho, another important fixture for Leeds United today. How's everybody feeling?
Everybody feel good, you know. Everybody knows it's important today, and I hope we're gonna come back with the 3 points, because the last game was a bit frustrated for us, and today we have to come back with 3 points.
Can the fans help today?
Yeah, of course. This is not it's every time they're gonna help us, because we are Leeds, you know, and the fans is amazing, and today can be amazing, and if we give a 3 points for them, is incredible. So yeah, Leeds fans today, help us.
Two games to go, it's as big as it gets. Leeds United emerge from the tunnel down below to the roar from another full house here at Elland Road.